Hello, it's Rebecca here from Precious Pages Papercraft, and today I'm having a play with the Simple Vintage Seas collection from Simple Stories. I recently went sailing with my little boy, so I've got lots of cute photos that I want to scrap using this collection. And I wanted to use this chipboard frame, but it had two sides to it and I only wanted to scrap one photo on this page. So I've trimmed off the excess on the second frame, so it just leaves me with that one 3x4-ish sort of frame, and I've left that sailboat and lighthouse adorning it, because I really wanted that sailboat because obviously we were sailing and the photos of him stood in front of a boat, so wanted to keep that sailboat on. And it was really easy to just trim that second half of that frame off, so I've made that work for me. I've also cut some circles from some of the patterned papers, and then I'm just cutting them in half now to give me some semicircles. And I'm going to arrange these across my page in kind of like banners or streamers going across the page. And I think I'm going to do them in 3s and 4s. I wasn't too sure at this point. I was tempted to do 4s all the way along, but I don't think I had enough pieces. But I recently made a layout with this collection for Paper Maze, and I used circles on my background and did those in 3s and 4s, and I thought that looked quite nice. So I've done it similar with this, and done the 3s and 4s, and I'm just trying to mix the patterns and the colours up, so I haven't got sort of too much red in one colour or too much blue, and haven't got too many like heavy patterns in one area. So I've mixed those up quite nicely, just trimming the excess of my photo off from around that frame. I'm going to glue these semicircles in place, and I'm just going to put a really thin line of wet glue along the top of each one just to kind of tack them into place, and then I'm going to run those through my sewing machine and stitch them into place. So there we go, I've skipped through the gluing and stitching for you, and I love how this looks. It's a great way to get lots of pattern papers on one page without sort of overcrowding the page and making it look too busy. I've just cut a small amount from each paper, and I've still got plenty of white space on the page to balance it out so it doesn't look too busy, but it really does show off that collection and gets loads of different patterns and colours on the paper. So I've applied some craft foam behind my photo there. I always like to raise my photos up on foam to kind of make them the centre of the page. After all, that is what the scrapbooking process is meant to be about, isn't it? It's about showcasing our photos. So I don't like my photos to get lost in the background. So foam raises them up, brings in some dimension and keeps the photo at the focal point. And I've offset it over to the left of the page because my boy is kind of stood facing the centre of the page here, kind of looking in towards the page rather than looking out. It's a little trick I picked up from watching Missy Whiddon's videos, and she's absolutely right in doing this. It just wouldn't look right to have him situated on the right hand of the page, sort of looking out to nothing really. So I always try and look at the position of my little boy in the photo to decide on my photo placement. So I've gone over the left here, and I've pulled out the die cut packs. There's 2 in this collection. You get the bits and pieces, and then there's another one called Nautical Bits, I think it's called. And there's loads and loads of die cut and ephemera pieces in this. I think I've got 2 packets of the Nautical Bits because it's really gorgeous. So I've pulled out some bits of seaweed there to add some colour behind my photo over on the left. I've also got a lighthouse. There wasn't any lighthouses when we went sailing. We went down the Thames. So definitely no lighthouses, but I love them and I think they work for any nautical themed layout. So I've popped a lighthouse on there. I've got a little life buoy as well over to the left there. Got obviously that chipboard corner on the frame has got the boat, I think it's a compass, and a lighthouse, some seaweed as well. And then I've used the chipboard stickers for my title, which is Sail Away. It's lovely blue and red font on that. So I've got that in place, and I've used an anchor from the die cuts over onto the right of that as well. You can't really see it on the screen here. I think I might have just chopped it off the edge of my photo. That frame might have just covered it up. But this boat was moored up. It was a Magna Carta boat, and I think when I looked into it, it was about £6,000 a night per person to sail on this boat. So it's something super duper special, but at the front of the boat it had 2 huge anchors painted gold, and they were really stunning. So I thought the anchor worked really well on this layout. And now I'm just trimming out a ship's wheel. I've taken that from the sticker book and I've just stuck it to some white cardstock to make it a bit sort of firmer and more rigid so that it doesn't stick to the background and go uneven. So that just sits flat now, and I've raised half up and then had it overlapping that lighthouse. So I like how that's looking. Just raised that sea, the lifebuoy thingy up with some foam as well. Just brings in some sort of layering and clustering. I like to tuck things in amongst each other, and the foam allows me to do that. Then I wanted some smaller details as well. So again, just going through the sticker book, there's a whole page in there that's got these banner stickers, and then in amongst them there are little phrases or sentiments. So I've pulled out, I think, 3 of those, and I think one says ahoy. It might even say ahoy matey or something like that. I think the other one says bon voyage or something similar. So I've picked out a few of those that I liked, and I'm just raising those up on foam and going to spread those across the page. So we've got a couple underneath my title there, and I think this last one's going to go, yeah, above my title. Just fills in a little bit of the white space there, and gives another little detail to the layout. So I love how this is looking, but I feel like there's a lot going on in the middle of the page and then not much on the outside edges, just got those sort of semicircle banners there, and they don't feel like they're part of the layout at the moment. It's a bit disjointed. So I'm going to use some more stickers from the sticker book, just some little sentiments again, and I'm going to pop those on a couple of the semicircles along with some acrylic anchor perspectives. Those are from Bramble Fox. They're little mini petite perspectives, and it's a set that you get red and black anchors in, and I think they work perfectly with this page. So I've just used those along with one of those stickers just on a couple of those semicircles, and I've gone for the one that's got sort of more white space on it and not such a heavy busy pattern, so that they show out, or show up should I say, and it just kind of spreads the design out a bit and makes those banners sort of part of the design as opposed to just being plonked at the top and bottom there. And then I decided that I wanted a frame on my page. Couldn't decide at first if I wanted to go all the way around, but I decided not to because the stitching that I'd done goes quite close to the sides. I didn't want to have to slice through that, so I decided just to go top and bottom. So I've ripped the top and bottom of my background, probably only about ½ an inch if that, and really distressed that, and I'm going to curl those over. And then I stuck that down to that gorgeous stripy pattern. It's one of my favourite papers in this collection, and I have used it for one of my semicircles as well, but I've got the lines going the other way. So now I've got them going vertically so that you could see each individual strip and colour. And I love how that looks, and that is the finished layout. So thank you for joining me. I hope that's given you some inspiration in using this collection, or trying to get lots of different pattern papers onto one layout without sort of making it look really busy and overcrowded. This collection is available still at Paper Maze. Most of it is still available, so I'll leave a link in the description box below for you. So those of you in the UK, if you want to get your hands on this, it's available at Paper Maze. But thanks again for joining me. I'll leave you with the rest of the close-ups, and I'll see you next time.